Let's go.
Let's do this thing.
Can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Good God, that freaking steel.
Oh yeah!
Let's go!
Here we go. Good morning. Welcome to the Twisted Tripped Out Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. We are presented this first hour by Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless. Sorry I'm late. Had to run out and grab something, but we're going to immediately go into the garage. And Chris Dietz, I have a present for you. We'll tell you everything that's going on this 3-hour special as we go along today. Hit it! What we got?
So, a little state of the NASCAR union, and the reason I'm bringing this up is Mark Martin, a guest we had back in March, was on Kenny Wallace's podcast, and he said that he felt like his accomplishments were being diminished because of how gimmicky the sport has become. And
I see no lies in that statement.
And as somebody who has watched the sport for 35 years, Mark is on the nail with this one.
He's on target. He is on target.
We started everything started with the chase for the cup back in 2004, the playoff system. Everything got reset.
I absolutely hated that. I hated that, but go on.
And now the fact that has had 5 different iterations because of either, Jimmy Johnson being Jimmy Johnson, or the fact of now trying to get a younger fan base.
Yep.
Now we've had stage racing added to the mix, which now basically makes it feel like it's 3 races in one instead of just a typical 500 miler. And now we have what is coming up in the next couple of weeks as the in-season tournament.
Oh, God. They're going NBA on us.
32 drivers, 1v1. Whoever finishes better moves on. Winner at the end of 5 races gets $1 million.
They're going NBA on us.
Yes.
They're going NBA on us. See,
Yes.
even Pumpkin doesn't like that idea.
And all this is doing is tarnishing what has happened from the forefathers, from the likes of Petty, Pearson, Earnhardt, Gordon, Martin, Harry Gantz, Alan Kulwicki, Davey Allison. The list goes on.
And on and on.
And on and on. I don't understand where the big brains in NASCAR are with this one. I think they've checked out of Daytona and went down to the bar by the track.
I agree.
Because I hate to say it, this is going to end up being a huge black eye on the sport. I mean, it's bad enough we had to go to Amazon Prime for 5 races.
Amazon Prime. And it gets worse.
Oh, what was really bad was the fact that Carson Hocevar, and I got to bring this up, was stupid enough on a Twitch live stream before going down to Mexico City, calling the place a shithole, and not understanding why were we even racing there in the first place. Since then, his comments have gotten him fined $50,000, and sensitivity training's been added to everything. But even the drivers, half of them didn't know what was going on. And it turned out Mexico City race was one of the best ones we had for a road course.
And they're doing this to it.
They're putting this bull crap on us.
That's what it is. I don't watch racing as intently as you, but you've taught me a lot about it. And I have my favorites from over the years, Dale Earnhardt Sr. being one of them, Jeff Gordon being another. All right? Dale Jr., for God's sakes.
Yep.
All right. Mark, my favorite Martin, who was on here for 40 glorious minutes, and I owe you a promise to cut that, and I will cut that.
The fact is, Mark feels like things have been diminished in the sport. His accomplishments, his 3 runner-up finishes, going after the championship, all the great wins he's had, the 2 500s, the Coke 600 in 02, everything is being diminished because of the gimmicks in the sport.
Mark, you're welcome back on here anytime to discuss this, and I'd love to have him back on.
Oh, I'll DM him after the show and say, "Hey, look, man, we touched on this, and we want to go in depth."
And I'll have you DM him the segment. Matter of fact, if he says yes, I'll clear an hour.
Done. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. But the fact of the matter is, the sport is sliding downhill, and it's picking up speed.
Snowball down the hill, anybody?
Something's going to give, because us old heads of the sport are slowly giving up, because
you know how I, as an old head, you know how I feel about sports getting too gimmicky. Dare I mention the NBA in-season tournament?
Oh, and we got NBA news to talk about later. But
yeah, we do.
The fact of the matter is, the sport is going further and further away from what brought it to the dance. And they say they want to go against the NFL in ratings. This ain't how you do it. Even Dale Jr. on his podcast has been talking about things going downhill.
Yep.
And how he'd want things to change.
Yep.
Mark took a poll on Twitter asking people what type of format they'd want to see come back to the sport.
And the survey said?
He had over 20,000 people vote, and the majority vote said the regular 36-race season. That says everything. When the fan base says we want a regular season, screw the playoffs, let the best person in that season decide it.
Haven't I said that somewhere before?
Oh yeah. I mean, you look at the fact
on this show. The first
You
time
look
I
at
covered racing in
Yeah.
the 11 years that we've done it.
You look at the fact that Kevin Harvick back in 2020 had a 9-win season, the best of his career,
Yep.
and he couldn't even contend for a championship that year because he got knocked out of the playoffs. Again,
That's stupid.
where is the sport gone?
That's stupid. That's a 9-win season.
A 9-win season typically means championship. Look at everything. Look at the seasons that preceded it that ended up winning championships.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Gordon in the 90s had a 10-win season that got a championship and a 13-win season that got a championship. Dale Earnhardt had a 10-win season that got a championship in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
And the king of them all, Richard Petty.
King Richard had a 27-win season in the 60s that blew everyone's doors off. But yet again, they drove 50 times a year.
But at the same time, no matter how many times a year you drive in a season, the regular season decides the title.
Exactly.
Period. That's why I mentioned King Richard.
The sport's gotten too gimmicky.
Mm-hmm.
And things have to change, or else there's going to be a lot of exodus following this season. I mean, is it the product on track with the new car? Is it the way the tires are adapting to it? Who knows? I mean, there's a lot that needs to change with the sport, but the first thing is they got to look internal before they figure out anything else. Now, obviously, they're going to see how the ratings go for this 5-race segment coming up on TNT Sports in 2 weeks starting. But the fact of the matter is, it's not needed.
No.
The races themselves provide the excitement. You don't need to inject BS like an in-season tournament. This isn't the Lakers and LeBron James. You don't need to give it out a participation trophy.
Don't get me started.
Yes, I went there.
Go there again.
I repeat, for those of y'all down up at the top of the speedway, they don't need to hand out participation trophies like in this in-season tournament like it's the NBA Cup, giving one to LeBron James.
And we know that, and we know why that happened. No one else had the nerve to say why it happened except us.
The nerve.
I'm going to keep saying that a lot. And I don't care what people think anymore. No one had the balls to say why they created the NBA Cup except us.
The nerve,
period.
The nerve, the gall, the balls, the Kavorkas, any of it.
Any and everything. We said it first, and now we're saying this first on this program. You can't, thank you, Deeds. You can't make this ish up. You can't.
No. It's ridiculous. The old heads are going to be gone. These new kids are going to end up moving on because they're going to treat NASCAR like a fad.
Mm-hmm.
And then NASCAR is going to be scrambling for eons to come, wondering what happened. Jim France down there in Daytona, you need to fix this. I'm slamming the door on this one.
A quick break, and when we come back, I'm going to unleash the take I wanted to do, and it's going to be from the heart. Yeah, it's going to be all emotion, but I don't care. Introduce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
They said the W couldn't catch fire, but in Indiana, the fever's already burning. Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, Full Court Fever tips off on Snowman Multimedia. All in on the WNBA. All eyes on the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell. The next dynasty in the making? Join Brian Snow for the deep dives, the hot takes, and the real stories from the hardwood. Full Court Fever, Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, only on Snowman Multimedia. This is Fever Basketball.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free and will even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Brux Night Guard. Now, the Brux Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brux Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to BruxNightGuard.com and order yours today.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the high five strangers got, game-winning interception, first down, just a nice solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Man, I got so much on my head right now. Ryan McCoffey is scheduled to join us. Dietz is waiting for us. But I'm going to deliver a fiery snowman take on a subject that Dietz brought up. Hit it.
Oh, yeah.
Give me this camera. Dear WNBA and its constituents, leave Caitlin Clark alone.
Oh, boy.
You've tried every trick in the book to discredit her on the floor as well as off it. You've even tried making her say things that she doesn't want to say. Now, a while back, she truly acknowledged the greatness of the greats in the WNBA. Okay? That wasn't scripted. The abuse against her, meaning the hard fouls, the rake across the eyes, JC Sheldon, I'm looking at your ass. The shove to the floor, Marina Mabry, I'm looking at you. And everything else to put away this young lady who at 23 years old has taken the WNBA by storm. Has she won a championship yet? No. Is she going to? You damn right she is. That is on the head of Stephanie White, and I guarantee you she will put it together. But the individual abuse, verbal and physical, that she's taken, y'all need to quit it. Okay? The Caitlin Clark effect is quite real. I'll use one example. At the United Center, there were supposed to be 21,000 people here. 21,000. Now, the 19,000 that was the announced attendance, though I figure it was less, were there to see Caitlin Clark play. Unfortunately, they couldn't because she was injured. When tickets drop $140, walk-up prices drop $140, that should tell you the kind of effect that Caitlin Clark is having on the league. Kathy Engelbert, I put this fully on you. You are letting your prized possession get mauled over and over and over and over again. I warned everybody this is very, very personal and very, very emotional against one of my favorite players. Oh, and to those fools that are going to sneak up behind, that are going to sneak in the comments section and say a couple of things, I'll say it for you. I don't like her just because she's white. I like her because she can play a hell of a game of basketball. I'll beat you to the punch. And yet the race game in the WNBA is very, very real. Very real. And what's pissing me off even more is that the more abuse that happens to Caitlin Clark is slowly turning into blame for Caitlin Clark. Really? You novice WNBA fans know nothing. Do you understand? Do you understand the effect she had on the league? I'll rewind it back to 1997. Do you understand the effect Rebecca Lobo, Lisa Leslie, Cynthia Cooper, Tina Thompson, and others had on the league? Oh, by the way, Hall of Famer Tamika Catchings, you understand the effect that they had on the league? If those players did not, and I'll say it loudly, did not get the abuse and the treatment that Caitlin Clark is getting right now, what is wrong with this picture? I'll tell you what's wrong with this picture. Caitlin Clark is stealing the spotlight, taking it and running with it and helping her team win. And doing it the right way? You damn Skippy she is. And before I go any further, the referees on Tuesday night, and BGS, this one's for you. The referees on Tuesday night's Fever Sun game sucked. They sucked. Marina Mabry should have been tossed the moment she shoved Caitlin Clark to the floor. Body bump or whatever the hell you want to call it. She should have been ejected and she should have been suspended. JC Sheldon, you got your punishment. You should have been ejected earlier in that game instead of in the fourth quarter. This needs to change. The abuse needs to stop. And y'all need to let Caitlin Clark do her thing. Let her build her team, okay? If this kind of abuse didn't come to Michael Jordan until 1989, and it was within the context of the game, okay? The abuse that Michael Jordan took all the way up until 1991 when he figured out, okay, I got to get stronger. I got to get my ass in the gym, which is kind of the pseudo message you're trying to send to Caitlin Clark. Forgive me, radio stations. And it's bullshit. I'll stop here before I go any further and I say some things I'm not supposed to on the air. And especially since my wife's birthday this weekend, she gives me a special yelling at.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I said this would be emotional. It is quite emotional because I hate seeing my favorite players go through this kind of stuff. I hate it. And for a league that could be on the verge of standing on its own, Kathy Engelbert, you suck as a commissioner because you're doing nothing about it. Matter of fact, to my fellas in the manosphere, y'all remember this. Hey, WNBA, this is your bag. That's how you fumble the bag. Any questions? That's Snowman's take. What's yours? Phew.
And we got this day fired up in a hurry. You know what?
I needed to get that off my chest.
Yeah.
Let's take a break.
We come back.
McCoffey's on the way. He'll take the bottom of the hour. And then I was supposed to have a guest from Valparaiso come on to the show. Unfortunately, she got called in to conduct an interview. She was the best one. So they say, we're taking you away from your fun stuff. I'm kidding as I say that, of course, because it's happened to me so many times. Let's take a break. And Blake Hammock, we got nothing for KSU right now. And Joel Embiid, you still a bitch. Back in the deuce.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific time zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
We were always hippies at heart, I guess, and that was one way that we showed it before we became full-time RVers.
And we were definitely living small and minimally.
What made us decide to go with Battleborn was everyone from their top leadership team down to their service department helped us so much the whole way through. Our relationship with Battleborn is so much more than business. And me and Dennis love to jam together. We've played together multiple times, and that's been an awesome transition. Be able to learn so much more about the business. Also, just make some awesome friends.
They said the W couldn't catch fire, but in Indiana, the fever's already burning. Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, Full Court Fever tips off on Snowman Multimedia. All in on the WNBA. All eyes on the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell. The next dynasty in the making? Join Brian Snow for the deep dives, the hot takes, and the real stories from the hardwood. Full Court Fever, Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, only on Snowman Multimedia. This is Fever Basketball.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Whether it's the men's college game,
the way that this season has been going, anything is possible.
The women's college game,
and how passionate Angel Reese was at that press conference, they got their mojo now.
The WNBA,
AJ Wilson on Twitter 1 and 2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young,
or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out on the Playmakers blog, network, YouTube channel, and where you can find podcasts. Because we take this job so serious.
All of it, between two people and 4 nostrils, all of it was gone. What in the all types of blue hell?
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Okay. Now that I got all that off my chest.
And now that we got everything else out the way, I think we got a little
I was gonna
something
wait
else to talk about.
bring him in. I was gonna wait to bring him in, but fuck it.
Passionate.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight!
Totally.
This one has a chance!
Deeds.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
Here we are. I'm trying to. There we go. Now we got it. Deets is here with us, and no tech issues on this Thursday. Morning, Deets. How are you?
Hey guys, what's going on?
What up, DT?
The floor is yours. Take it.
There is so much to break down, and just to critique what you said, you hit about 25% of what the problem is with Caitlin Clark.
That's why you're here.
The WNBA absolutely is at fault, but they don't even understand that their cash cow is sitting right there, and they have done nothing to protect her. And I'll bring up the most egregious story I've learned during my research here.
All right.
So opening night, they made this huge deal about the opening game, Sky versus Fever.
In Indianapolis.
It was all over the place. I saw ads for it all the time. I'm not a WNBA fan, and I knew it was going on. Okay?
Yeah.
So Caitlin Clark goes out and destroys the Sky.
Blitzes them.
And it really wasn't a game. Really wasn't a game. So guess what? The next day, it was as if the game never happened. There was no coverage of that game. There was no recaps. They built that thing up as this is the greatest debut. This is going to kick off the season.
And they
the minute it ended, crickets. Absolute crickets. Nobody even knew what happened. They wanted to forget it as soon as they possibly could.
And why do you think that is, Mr. Deets? I know the answer, but I want you to say it.
Well, there's the figurative. There's the WNBA doesn't want to push Caitlin Clark for reasons I can't tell you because they're
fair enough.
Reasons within the commissioner's head and the commissioner's office that have come to that decision. But here's where the story gets even crazier. The reason why they didn't push that game is because one of the players on the other team, we all know who she is, but I don't even want to mention her by name at this point because she doesn't deserve it.
Nope.
But went out and said during a foul shooting portion that the fans were chanting some racist remarks.
Yep.
That's why they did not want to comment on that game. That's why they did not want to highlight it. Here's the rub, though.
Mm-hmm.
So they went to, so the media does their thing, and they go to Caitlin Clark, and they say, Caitlin, what did you think about the comment situation? Well, Caitlin Clark does the diplomatic thing of saying, I didn't hear anything. If something was said that we shouldn't have to put up with that, but I can't comment because I did not hear it because of everything that was going on the court, and I was focused on the game.
Right.
Look, clear-cut answer, right?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
The Monday following that, because the game happened on Saturday, the Monday, one of the networks, a certain host decided to up the ante a little bit.
Oh,
and not just say, oh, this happened and it's deplorable or whatever. No, he threw Caitlin Clark under the bus and said she's lying and she is with a racist sympathizer because she did not denounce the comments outright.
Time.
Can't make this up.
Time.
What?
To borrow from the great Al Michaels, she said what? I want you to repeat. Give me this button right here. But matter of fact, you're
I got it.
You're the super producer. I want you to repeat it again. Open it. Quote.
Caitlin Clark sympathizes with racists because she did not denounce the comments outright. Okay? This was said. This is what they said that month. This is what they said that Monday.
Uh-huh.
You cannot make this up. So, and remember, I want everybody who's listening to this, I want them to remember what Caitlin Clark said.
Yes.
She didn't denounce the comment. What she said is, I did not hear them because I was on the court and I was focused on other things.
I was focused on the game.
Yeah. So the WNBA does not touch this story with a 10-foot pole. WNBA does not back up Caitlin Clark and say she's a player in our league. No, they say nothing. They let her character. This is not about her on the basketball court. Her as a person, they let her get absolutely run through the mud. Okay?
She got mauled.
And then they go out. So the WNBA goes out and says, we take racism seriously. We're going to investigate this.
Oh, gosh.
Here's where it goes from absolutely insane to absolutely hilarious in one fell swoop.
So here's where it goes even further left. Oh, boy.
So the investigation comes back.
Mm-hmm.
And this was released, I think, last week, in the middle of last week sometime.
Yeah.
They released their report. The WNBA releases their report. No claims of racism found. It was fraudulent. I want you to go back. I want you to understand. I want to say that again. No claims of racism found. It was a fraudulent complaint. Now go back to what was said before. That Caitlin Clark, because she did not hear a comment that was not said, was thrown under the bus.
Again. Again.
What are we doing? What are we doing? She said she didn't hear the comment because the comment was never said and because it was made up. And she's supposed to denounce it.
So in essence, they blame her.
Otherwise, she's a racist.
Of course.
Otherwise, she's a racist.
But here's the crazy thing, right? Because I had heard this before that people were saying that whenever Angel Reese was like going to the free throw line, people were making monkey sounds and stuff like that. I'm like, how did you hear that?
How did you hear that in the midst of 17,000 people?
17,000 people. You would think if someone
and of course it had to be the first game of the year. Now that I'm hearing Dietz's points, it had to be the first game of the year. Where was it? Cambridge Fieldhouse, Indianapolis, Indiana.
It is even though 17,000 people, excuse me, you're hearing monkey sounds.
How can you pick off monkey sounds with 17,000 people? Cowbells, maybe.
Well, not
going
even
back
that.
to the old Sacramento.
Not even that. You know how media works, Snowman.
I do.
Someone would have picked that up. Some media network, ESPN or Fox
You want to know something?
Someone would have picked that up.
And I bet you ESPN would have picked it up ... first and run with it.
Yes.
They did
Easily.
not.
So if they didn't pick it up, this reminds me of that and Deets will probably know this better than me. There was a college basketball game where during the handshake line, two girls got into it. One girl
That was Southern
That was
Conference.
Duke.
That was Duke? Oh wow!
When the Duke girl claimed there were racist comments, and then she came out like 3 weeks later and was like, "Yeah, no, that never happened."
Right, because the one girl
my
punched
gosh.
the other girl in the face, like I said, in the line. Right, they're just sitting there, kind of shaking hands, and then all of a sudden, these two girls come in, and one black girl just punched the other girl, the white girl, and like it became a big scandal. And then they said, "Well, she has said something racist in the throes of the game," and I'm like, again, no one heard it but you.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes out, oh well, it didn't really happen. I was just mad. It's like, stop lying about it then. There's too much actual racism go around for you to be lying and making up stuff.
Yep.
But even the lying and the media, whatever, that's abhorrent in itself. But whatever. What's even worse is when Caitlin Clark's character was called into question.
Mm-hmm.
The WNBA, this is your cash cow. This is this is your best player. This is what people tune in for. And you did not come out and say, "Look, we know Caitlin. Caitlin is a great person. She's an intense player. We love having her in the league, and she's doing all these things."
Nothing.
They did not stand up for her at all. And they threw her under the bus.
And I'll back Dietz's point up with this. It's not the first time that the league, this is why I put this at the foot of Kathy Engelbert, did not defend her.
It's not
the first time. And we all know with Kathy Engelbert in charge, and yeah, I'm calling you out, Commissioner Engelbert. It ain't gonna be the last time.
But it's not even that now. It's not even the fact of Caitlin doing it herself. It's because if somebody who does it, they'd say that, well, it's a Caitlin Clark fan, and because Caitlin Clark doesn't admonish her fans for doing stuff, that she's complicit. It's like, Caitlin Clark can't do anything. One, she's playing.
Right.
And two, even if she did say, guys, don't do that, they're grown men and women. They're going to do it anyway.
Mm-hmm. You know what I saw at the end of Tuesday night's game? Some of the players were shaking hands. Caitlin Clark, as the captain, pulled them all away and said, "Let's just get on out of here," before anything else happened. This is after J.C. Sheldon got ejected. This is after Sophie Cunningham got ejected, which is bullshit to me because Sophie Cunningham's one of the others that's been getting bullied all night. Caitlin Clark just pulled them all aside and said, "Let's have our team huddle in front of our bench, and we're getting the hell out of here."
Because if you put them in a line where the hostiles are already high,
something could go left again.
And that's the thing. So, remember I told you about the whole people admonishing RG3 and LeBron James about?
Yes.
So
yes,
that was the other part, because they were like, well, all these Caitlin Clark fans are being racist to Angel Reese, and since Caitlin Clark isn't saying anything about it, she's just as complicit. It's like, you can't put that on her because she's not going to police every single fan.
No. Yeah.
And this is why I said, Snowman, you're there. You have the on the court stuff. You nailed the on the court stuff in your Snowman take. The biggest problem is they are destroying her character to the point of, look, Caitlin Clark is the draw. And I brought this up. I brought this up in the chat. You can go back and read it. Snowman talked about it. at the United Center. Tickets were going for $180. The minute it was revealed, Caitlin Clark's not going to play, it went from $180 to $40.
And those are the walk-up prices. Those, and some people were giving the tickets away because they want to see Caitlin Clark play. She is the draw. She is the main draw. She is it. You understand that?
But if you
Caitlin Clark is
but if you're the WNBA, put yourself in the WNBA's. I mean, you're looking at those numbers. You're looking at those numbers. You're looking at the numbers. You're looking at the seats that are getting filled because of her. But here's the problem. If you malign her character, you're not drawing in any new people. People who watch Caitlin Clark are going to be like, yeah, I know Caitlin Clark. I want to go see her play. People who don't watch, they're going to hear all the bad things about her character and go, I can go do something else.
Yep.
So they're kicking themselves. They're shooting themselves in the foot by killing their best draw by people going, I don't really want to be involved in that.
And Caitlin Clark's a flat-out sweetheart.
And the thing is,
she's intense as all get out on the court, okay? Which is what you want your cash cow to be, right? They're assassinating her character, and yes, I'm using that big word. They are, and Victor, you get Victor and Shane, you get the inside joke with that.
Yep.
They are assassinating her character, maligning her character, as Dietz correctly said, and now the on-the-court stuff comes into question. Because I actually heard a couple people say how good actually is Caitlin Clark. You cannot make this up. You cannot make this up.
And here's the thing.
To tie in with what Dietz said, that because her character's taking a hit and the NBA is doing not a blank thing about it, who's going to want to go watch her? Who are the new fans that are going to want to see her play?
Well, here's the thing. This is also not lost on Caitlin. This is not lost on her. So
she's going to work harder.
No, it's not just that. If this keeps happening, she's going to leave.
Yep.
Because it's like I'm busting my you-know-what out there, getting beat up, still putting up numbers, still bringing more eyes to the game, and then you sit there and you let these people. Yeah, you sit there, you let people call me a racist. You don't even try to say no, that's not what's happening when it's not happening. You just let these people say what they want. I'll go back to college and coach.
And she'd be a hell of a coach.
Yeah,
she'd be a hell of a coach.
I mean, she could go do anything else. But here's the other thing that I wanted to touch on. And Dog, you brought this up yesterday.
Okay.
When it was asked why, and Dog said it was white on white crime, the first one. That throws racism right out of the window.
Yes, it does.
And Snowman and I talked about this off the air, and I'll be the one to say it on the air. It's not because of her gender. It's because of her sexuality.
That's a very good point.
It's because
you can't argue it. She's in a healthy relationship.
Because she just got proposed to by her male fiance. They don't want. There's people. I can guarantee you, there's people in that WNBA commissioner's office that do not want her to be the face of the league.
Snowman, what did I
already
say?
know? Listen,
hold on, Snowman. What did I say when we first started talking about this? About how you cannot put an agenda by Caitlin Clark because she is female, she is white, she is straight.
We were saying this at Iowa.
She's in a healthy,
very
relationship
with
a man,
with Connor McCaffrey,
and they can't attach the usual agendas of LGBTQ or of color.
They can't attack any of that. They can't attack any of it. Callie Greenshields joins us, says, I have to shake my head. The same sports TV are the ones that brought Caitlin Clark playing to the world. Now many of them want to destroy her. Yet with her, how many of them will be out of jobs? I'll answer your question, Callie. Except us, all of them. All of them. All of them. Because I'll repeat Victor's point. And let's just do a full breakdown of Caitlin Clark's character. And I know we're coming up, Shane. I know we're coming up on a break. Jody, honey, I know we're coming up on a break, but
just keep
going.
We're
going to articulate this. She's white. She plays basketball, plays it well, and she's straight. Let me repeat those 4 factors again. She's white. She's white. She's a basketball player. Mm-hmm. She plays it well, and she's straight. And I'll repeat Dietz's point because Dietz was the first one to bring this up, and then Victor got in my head about this. And I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to believe it. I didn't say it because I didn't want to believe it. I believe it now. They don't want her to be the face of the league. They are pushing. And what makes it worse, I'll echo a point Dietz said last week. You know who they're pushing to be the face of the league? Take a guess.
It's got to be Angel. It's got to be Angel.
I rest my case.
Because Angel is a marketable person. I mean, I don't know Angel's sexuality. I think she's probably straight.
Nor do I.
But the fact that she's of color, she's, beautiful. I mean, we said she can be a very remarkable person because it's how pretty she is, how tall she is, how she's very fashionably, put together. I'm not saying that Caitlin isn't.
Right.
But the problem is that, and I was going to say this yesterday, the more I watch Angel's games, the more this question keeps popping in my head. What is Angel actually good at?
And Victor's one of our Chicago Sky constituents, Allison Moran being the other. We'll have her on during hour 3.
Because at least 4 times in the last game they played, Angel turned the ball over 4 times.
Yes.
Just very, very bad, ill-timed, ill-advised passes that got picked off.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what is Angel good at? Shooting? No.
She's good at being taller than everyone and being able to, when she shoots, being able to realize, oh, that's not going in. I need to go get it.
Yep.
I mean,
it's the truth.
That's it.
It's the truth. They want, and Callie just said it again. I just said this a moment ago. They wanted it to be Angel, and from the day that Caitlin Clark was drafted, first overall, there were rumblers. There were rumblings. I beg your pardon. There were
complainers. There were people who complained about it. But she can't.
But you know what the latest argument is now, and I've heard of many a podcaster say this, and Dietz, you can back me up. You know why they don't want Caitlin Clark to be the face of the league? Because she never won a championship in high school, didn't win a championship in college. In fact, they bring those 2 championship games where she lost to better teams.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say this aloud. 2 better teams against her.
It's just,
in fact, I had one podcaster. I heard this, and you can't make this up. Say Caitlin Clark will never be the face of the league until she wins a championship. Why not?
Well, the thing is, I understand that because they were going to say, well, has she won the big one? Even Playmaker said she's got to win the big one to really solidify herself.
She will.
But
she's got it, and you're right. And Playmaker is absolutely right. He's absolutely right. What I'm saying is they're demonizing Caitlin Clark because of that instead of letting her develop and become a champion.
Right.
That's my point.
And to get into that, yeah, we can say, all right, she can't be the face. She can't be the face of the league until she wins a championship or all this championship stuff. It's year 2.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, she didn't. Okay, so she didn't. She just went out and won Rookie of the Year. She didn't. She wasn't on a championship team because she was picked number 1 overall to the worst team in the league. Mm-hmm. Okay, worst team in the league the year before, and she got to that team.
And she helped improve that team by 10 wins.
It's year 2. If we get to year 5, year 6, and we're still sitting here saying, hey, Caitlin Clark needs to win a championship, that's valid. It's not valid year 2.
No, it's not.
They did better than they did the year before. They're one of the top teams in the league right now. When Caitlin and Sophie are in the lineup and they're not getting their ass kicked, and it's not WWE on the court.
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you.
They're one of the best teams. They're one of the best teams, and they're one of the funnest teams to watch.
Callie brings up a great point. Is that Iowa won 3? I thought it was 4 Big Ten championships with Caitlin Clark. I thought it was 4.
And
You may be right with it being 3.
But here's the funny thing: is that these are a good point about this. About WWE on the court. Caitlin Clark is basically WNBA's version of John Cena.
Yeah.
Do you know how much the WWE protected John Cena?
A lot.
I mean, even if, like anything that could be perceived as a media gaffe or something that could be a controversy, WWE went into absolutely like, no, that's not possible. John Cena is one of our best guys. He's a good guy. They bring all the Make-A-Wish stuff. Not saying John Cena's a bad guy, but they went out of their way to say whatever people are saying negative about John Cena is not true.
Yeah.
Why in the world is this not happening for Caitlin Clark? Why?
Because they don't want it to
WNBA
happen.
saying
I'll give you the
no,
short
Caitlin Clark is not that person. We're not even going to entertain this. But instead they're like, well, racism has been in WNBA for years. We haven't heard of it until just now.
Let me do the short answer for you, Vic. They don't want to protect her. Let me give you the short answer. They don't want to protect her.
That's why I said this is not lost on Caitlin Clark. And if they keep messing around,
it's not. She's going to leave.
She's going to walk away. She'll go back to college.
She's going to win. She's going to win that first championship, and then she'll ride off into the sunset and be done.
And who's going to take over the mantle from there?
I don't think many people are going to care. They're trying to push it to be Paige Beckers.
Yeah. And Paige, that's way too much to put on. Paige is just out of college. Like that's way too much to put on her shoulder. Like, come on.
They want to put it on Paige, and I go back to the championship argument. She won a national championship when UConn destroyed South Carolina. We're up against the break. Deets, thanks for joining us. I want to have you on tomorrow for a full hour so we can deep dive more into this and get into college football stuff. Thanks a lot, man. We appreciate you.
Absolutely, guys. Keep it up.
I had that.
Passionate. Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Unflinching.
Let's go back to losing. Parking was easier.
Unrelenting.
They're not going to keep him off the field tonight.
Totally.
This one has a chance.
Deeds.
That's not just a murmur, that's a full-blown fibrillation.
Coming up tonight, it's an Indiana Sports Hub basketball doubleheader as we look at Game 6 of the NBA World Championship Series between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. Pacers need to win to keep it alive, or the Oklahoma City Thunder will clinch their first World Championship. Will they be able to do it? We're going to find out tonight as we start the party at 8 p.m. And then following that, we'll switch to San Francisco as the aforementioned Indiana Fever will take on the Golden State Valkyries. We will follow that game in progress after Game 6 of the finals. All right, we got a break. And when we come back, Ryan McCoffey will join us. It's the end of hour 1, but we're going to play our halftime break. We're back in a minute.
All right.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Now, I'm known as the guy who can fix just about anything, but the technology in most appliances requires very special training to fix. And that's why my family has Choice Home Warranty.
Choice Home Warranty covers over 25 major home systems and appliances. That's your AC, heating, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and so much more.
Call Choice Home Warranty now before something breaks down.
Get protection for your heating, AC, plumbing, kitchen and laundry appliances, and more.
Call 800-973-6121.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
Emergency, please.
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain,
Snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered the winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text delete, 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 delete.
Join these 2 football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast. Live every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central. Whether it's the men's college game,
The way that this season has been going, yeah, anything is possible.
the women's college game,
And how passionate Angel Reese was at that press conference, they got their mojo now.
the WNBA,
AJ Williams stood 1-2, followed by Brittany Griner, Aaliyah Boston, Jackie Young.
or the NBA.
The Lakers had a 0.8 chance of winning. And then what happened in the fourth quarter? LeBron James by himself outdid the Clippers.
You will get any and all of the information right at your fingertips or your earlobes. Join the Playmaker as he breaks down all things basketball in Shooting Lights Out on the Playmaker's blog, network, YouTube channel, and where you can find podcasts. Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Somebody ring up McCoffee, will you please?
I already sent him the link.
You sent him the link? Okay, good.
Yeah, I got you covered, bud.
Okay. Hour 2 of Snowman in the morning. There's some, I want to tell Shane, there's some graphics I took down because I am improving them before I bring them back. I should have them all back uploaded tomorrow.
Yeah, I noticed a couple things were missing.
Okay, good. Okay.
All right.
Now,
Bubba.
I got to do something.
Okay, go for it.
Y'all ain't going to like it.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronzexual Confessions.
Again,
I have to because
hell.
someone fed me a line of bullshit and I got to call him out.
So this is another one that found you?
Yep. I had a conversation with a Bronzexual.
What you mean?
And this
All right.
Bronzexual said unto me,
oh, God. Hang on. I got it.
Quote, why aren't you blaming Steph Curry for ruining the league?
What?
I will say it again. Open it. Quote, if you can blame LeBron James for ruining the league, why can't you blame Steph Curry or Kobe Bryant or anybody like that for ruining the league?
Because they didn't ruin the league.
Close quote.
Because it didn't ruin the league.
Before I go in, there's this.
This moment of Bronzexual stupidity is brought to you by Hooked on Bronix. When you start talking like an idiotic Bronzexual, Hooked on Bronix can set you right. Call 1-800-YO-KANG. LJPN. Now approve all this.
I explained to him in a simple sentence when it comes to Stephen Curry, he didn't ruin the league. He was just smart. Why? And y'all have heard me say this for 16 seasons.
He took an anomaly
and turned it into a weapon. Period.
And then Kerr
and everybody took that weapon and turned it into a strategy.
Yes.
And everybody in the league, every team in the league is now averaging at least 20 3-point attempts per game. An anomaly into a weapon. He does acknowledge to a point that Michael Jordan laid the foundation for Kobe Bryant. Okay. And he also said to me, if you're taking shots the way Stephen Curry is taking shots, you're going to get benched. Yeah, you were going to get benched because you can't hit them. You were going to get benched because you thought you could try it. Now, I understand he played basketball. He didn't make it to the highest level, and he's also coached basketball. And he had everybody, this is according to him, tell him to review the tape. And he said, I reviewed the tape. Bullshit. Because if you reviewed the tape, you would see how their foundations came to be. If you would have reviewed the tape, you would have seen and watched and paid attention to how their foundations was formed. Oh, by the way, when it comes to Stephen Curry, who's his dad? Del Curry.
Yep.
One of the greatest shooters in NBA history. He spent 16 years in the league. Okay? Doing the same thing that Steph does now. All Steph did was turn it into a bigger weapon. A front-faced weapon.
Yep.
Here's what I don't understand is how does shooting 3-point shots ruin a game? I mean, granted, yeah, if you start shooting a whole bunch of them and not hitting, yeah, that could cause a problem. That doesn't ruin the game. That's like saying like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar ruined the game by creating a skyhook.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar took a rule against him and created a move for him.
Yes.
An anomaly into a weapon. Let's go down the list of players that took anomalies and turned them into weapons. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar developed the skyhook. out of an anomaly that is very rare. He wasn't allowed to dunk because he was taller than everybody. So Kareem said, okay, watch this. Julius Erving, Dr. J. The anomaly against him, big hands, which ain't much of an anomaly as I get to Michael Jordan in a minute. So he's skies above everybody. Magic Johnson, abnormal point guard. I mean that physically at 6'9". So what does Magic do? Sees the court better, sees it faster. Once upon a time, the all-time assist leader. How about that? Michael Jordan didn't have a jump shot when he came into the league. Everybody acknowledges that. So what does Mike do? He took one of his anomalies and turned it into a weapon. And LeBron, I hope you're listening. A jump shot.
The fadeaway could be considered an anomaly.
Fadeaway is the second most indefensible shot in NBA history outside of the sky hook. Wilt Chamberlain towered above everybody. Couldn't camp in the lane, so they widened the lane. So Wilt says, okay. So he learned the art of rebounding. Dennis Rodman. There was never a rebounding madman until Dennis Rodman showed up. And the thing is, two of the greatest coaches in NBA history, Chuck Daly, Phil Jackson, encouraged him to do it. Kobe Bean Bryant didn't have enough strength in his legs to hit jump shots. What does Kobe Bryant do with this anomaly? He hits the gym. And turned his lack of jump shots into a weapon, which gained him 5 NBA championships. And now you have Wardell Stephen Curry II, part of one of my favorite duos, the Splash Brothers. And Steve Kerr, I applaud you for recognizing the weapons that you have and making a strategy out of it. So I asked this question to this particular bronzexual. What is LeBron's signature move? Oh, let me answer that for you. He hasn't got any.
There is none.
Nope.
What is LeBron's signature moment? Let me answer that for you. Oh, wait, I can't answer that for you. He walked off the floor during an overtime game when time was running out and his team was down by 6 like the coward he is. Thank you, Victor Locke, for showing me that clip. Oh, Blake, you're late. Many players before Paul Pierce had the ability to take contact and not be fazed by it. Isaiah Thomas, Joe Dumars, Bill Laimbeer, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen. Do I need to go on? James Worthy, Bob McAdoo. Do I need to go on?
Dennis Rodman,
David Robinson, Tim Duncan,
Patrick Ewing.
Oh, Patrick
Charles
Ewing
Barkley.
Patrick Ewing delivered the contact. What are you talking about?
Like I said, Charles Barkley,
Karl Malone,
Allen the Answer Iverson.
But
Iverson
Paul Pierce also continued that line, though.
He continued the line. Yes, he continued the line. And I know the only reason, and I'm joking around with Blake, that he wants Paul Pierce in the conversation is because he played at Kansas. Sorry, Blake. No soup for you.
Well, that's why he's a Joel Embiid fan. But as we all know, the reason why the 76ers have problems.
Yes, Joel.
It
is you. You bum.
Yeah, bitch.
Anyway, did all that to say this. To this particular bronzexual that I actually respect. Give me this camera.
Okay. Take it.
I actually respect this bronzexual, but I also attach this. And he's begged me to come on this show to talk about LeBron and his supposed greatness. You don't want this work. Matter of fact, I'm calling you out. You're afraid to get this work. You hear those sirens in the background? They're coming to get you. They're coming to get you. And they're coming to get you because you know you don't want this work. Now, I do not include him in my next statement. Take the camera back.
Okay.
Matter of fact, no, leave it. Leave it.
Okay.
I take this particular bronzexual out of my next statement because he is a friend. I include him in saying you don't want this work. but I take him out and saying, "Get out of my face, you thirsty bitches."
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying.
Hang tight. Dear
Foul.
Bronsexuals, you.
Personal
Dear
foul.
Bronsexuals who
unsportsmanlike
think you can
conduct.
challenge me on basketball knowledge, though you have none. You. Dear Facebook for putting Bronsexuals on. You. Dear all networks for putting LeBron on and the Bronsexuals and shoving them down our face and up our and down our throats and up our asses for 22 years. You, and a whole lot of you. Why? Because yes, LeBron, it is you. It's always been you. It always will be you, forever and ever. Amen. Now, as I said a moment ago, get the hell out of my face, you thirsty bitches.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty. Good Lord, I'm about to throw up. This has been yet another installment of The Bronsexual Confessions.
Oh, and in case you don't know, Joel Embiid is worse than DJ Moore.
Yeah.
Oh, question from Callie Greenshield. She was talking about a question. Does Caitlyn want to be the face of the league?
No, but unfortunately, she doesn't have a choice. And it's unfortunate because all she does is play a great brand of old school basketball. There's your answer, Callie. It's not the fact that she wants to be the face of the league. It's the fact that she doesn't have a choice.
Right.
And because of her play, Michael Jordan, you think he wanted to be the face of the league just because he plays basketball and plays it at a superior level?
Well, look at the two before
Think about the commercial he did in 1993 that was filmed at Rosemont Horizon. What if I was just a basketball player? Can you imagine it? I can. For those of you who don't believe that commercial actually exists, look it up.
Like I said, look at the two before Michael.
Magic and Larry. All they were doing was having fun and setting records and facing each other in the World Championship Series. 3 times in 5 years. 84, 85, 3 times in 4 years, I beg your pardon. 84, 85, and 87. Magic won 2 before they faced each other in 1984. Larry won 2 also in the midst of them facing each other. Bird won in 81 and 86. Magic won in 80 and 82. But oh yeah, I'm a black man that's not supposed to know all this about basketball. I'm a black man that's not supposed to be a nerd when it comes to sports. I'm a black man that's not supposed to sound like this, aka my hero, the late great Jim Durham, when it comes to announcing sports. Yes, that was all that was said to me yesterday. Now I'll say it once again to all those who said that to me but don't know me. Get out of my face, you thirsty bitches.
Again with that?
Hit the button, will you?
Damn it.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned.
By the way, all you thirsty ass that want to make sure that I don't too fast get a job in the industry because I actually created one. You, and all y'all. You're the ones that didn't believe in me, so I continue to strive and I continue to succeed. And I turned that I into a we because I got the dog behind me. I got Dietz. I got Victor Locke. I got Callie Greenshields in the chat. Blake Hammock in the chat. I got a lot of people behind me. And I stand behind them in their achievements also. Now get the ever-loving out of my face, you thirsty bitches.
In a world where logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty. Good Lord, I'm about to throw up. This has been yet another installment of The Bronzexual Confessions.
Before we go or get into the next segment, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to look it up because we already did.
What if my name wasn't in lights? What if my face wasn't on TV every other second? What if there wasn't a crowd around every corner? What if I was just a basketball player? Can you imagine it? I can.
1993. And Vic, recognize the arena where that was filmed?
So old Chicago, right?
Rosemont Horizon.
Rosemont.
Now that I got that off my chest, there's a fellow who I have a bone to pick with because he owes me some coffee. I'm kidding.
I feel so cramped. I feel so cramped in this space.
I found you. The
Man, shut up.
international Irish Italiano supervillain, Espresso McCoffee.
Or as my dad commented, the Dutch Irish.
The Dutch Irish.
Yes, the Dutch Irish.
Because I'm not Italian. I'm Italian by association only. Both my sister-in-laws are Italian, so I'm only by association.
You know what? When Ryan sent that in a chat to me, I had to go to a break immediately because I fell out laughing when he said that.
You won't get away this time.
Oh, dear God.
You realize the next time we have McCoffee on, this is a full hour. Y'all know this.
Oh, dear Lord.
Because everybody's alter ego is going to come out.
Oh, my God.
All right. Ryan, what you got for us?
Is that Troy in the background?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, my goodness. So much to talk about. Actually, I'm gonna need the super producer to push a certain button again.
Oh
no!
What?
I'll take care of this.
I got it.
Go for it.
You got to be shitting me.
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated and total greatness is shunned, there stands to be a figure on the lips of those who love him and those who hate him. The inane comparisons to Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant continue and has existed since 2003. There is no end in sight, for the battle between those who unconditionally love and unconditionally hate him wages on. These are their stories. Welcome to the Bronzexual Confessions.
How did it happen to you?
This ought to be good.
Yeah.
Yes. I know it's not Wednesday. I know. And Blake, as many as we want. So you just listen, okay?
Blake, you're a Joel Embiid fan.
Blake
You have no
loves
room
Joel
to talk.
Embiid, for God's sake. So what does that say?
Softer than Charmin.
No, James Harden.
Well, James Harden looks like Sherman, okay? He does. Plushy too. Only if he doesn't want to play where he wants to. Only if he wants to play.
I was taking a drink of water. Quit. Dang it.
He dresses like the Michelin Man for teams he doesn't want to play for anymore.
Oh,
anyway,
this is true. And he's done it for every team he's played for.
Anyway.
Oops.
Yeah, and then he loses that. Then he drops that weight like a UFC fighter as soon as he gets traded or goes somewhere else. By the way, FYI, congratulations to CJ Mosley. He announced his retirement. First off, announced his retirement from the NFL. Was battling some injuries last season. I think after getting released from the Jets, I think he just said, "You know what? Father time caught up. So it's time to leave." But CJ Mosley, great career at Alabama.
Yep.
With the Ravens and for a short period of time with the Jets. But I wish him all the best. But speaking of Father Time, Dalton Connect said to TMZ Sports, commenting on how long LeBron James could play. And he said, and I quote,
"Oh no,
LeBron said he could play another 5-10 years." Close quote.
I was gonna say I had those buttons ready for you.
Do it again.
No, I'm not gonna cuss. Anyway, sorry. Dalton,
No, I'm talking about this button.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Quote.
All right. Dalton Connect said, quote, LeBron said he could play another 5-10 years.
Close quote. Before we continue, our sponsor.
This moment of bronze sexual stupidity is brought to you by Hooked on Bronix. When you start talking like an idiotic bronze sexual, Hooked on Bronix can set you right. Call 1-800-YOKAY. Real LJPM, now approve all this.
Go.
Athletes know when it's time to quit.
Yes, we do.
Father Time is undefeated.
Yes.
It catches up to everyone. It caught up to Michael Jordan. I consider the greatest basketball player that ever lived. It caught up to Magic Johnson.
It caught up to Magic.
Caught up to Larry Bird. Caught up to Kareem. Caught up to Isaiah Thomas. Caught up to Bill Laimbeer, Dennis Rodman,
Joe Dumars,
Kobe,
Brad Nance, Kobe Bryant. It caught up to everyone. I'm sorry. Look, I know LeBron's trying to take a page out of Tom Brady's book because he played until he was 45 years old. And even Tom Brady recognized when Father Time was catching up to him.
And
every
moved
athlete
to the booth and is spreading his knowledge.
Every athlete knows when Father Time catches up to them because eventually Father Time catches up to everybody in every sport, whether it be basketball, football, hockey, car racing, golf.
Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, Patrick Roy.
There were several times. Actually, there were several times Father Time tried to catch Mario Lemieux. Mario Lemieux just armed him to hell. And
Mario
went towards the run.
Lemieux checked him in the boards.
Yep. And then scored a goal.
Yep.
But I understand Dalton Connect. He's a younger guy. And young guys all think they're invincible at some point in their lives, myself included. I'm pretty sure everybody in the panel has also thought at one point or another in their 20s or late teens, early 20s, I'm invincible. I can do whatever I want.
I'm in my 50s, and the only reason I feel invincible is because I kicked cancer in the ass.
That was my high school playing days. I paid for it.
Yeah, everybody pays for it eventually. I got I had a broken finger. This index finger, this ring finger right here. Yeah, arthritis. I broke it. I broke it several times, and arthritis is starting to catch in because late 40s, ladies and gentlemen. Got a wonky knee, got a wonky ankle. Father Time catches up with you.
Everything on me is wonky, especially my head, because I took a couple of concussions, one via hockey and one via baseball.
I've heard those stories.
I've got a few to trade in my baseball days, but carry on.
So I'm carrying. Yeah. So Dalton, you're a young guy. I understand. You want everybody to play forever. You want to stay on that Lakers team forever because LeBron's playing that team. But LeBron,
go away.
Eventually he's gonna have to let go of the game. You're gonna have to let go of that ghost he's been chasing since 2003.
He's chasing the ghost.
And sometimes it's just time to call it quits. And yes, it's on his turn. And yes, it's on his terms. To be fair, it's on his terms. I'm not going to tell him what to do. He's a grown man. He can make his own decision. But to Dalton, sir, kid, it's going to happen to you too. It's going to happen by the time because it's going to catch up with you too. So, and I know you're his teammate. You want him to stay as long as possible. Everybody. So that's my LeBron confess. That's my confessional. I'm gonna get out of the booth and goof off from here on from the rest of the segment.
Oh, my son goofing off is a good idea, son.
Thanks, Father McGregor.
Father O'Shaughnessy, you fucking nut job.
Hey, you sound Scottish, not Irish. All right, I'm out of here.
I've done both. Get out of our face, you thirsty bitches. I'll say it for you.
Thank you.
In a world where logic logic and sense flies completely out the window, while purple and yellow glasses are donned, rises a figure who encourages ridiculous, undying loyalty. Good Lord, I'm about to throw up. This has been yet another installment of The Bronzexual Confessions.
Why?
That heartbeat hits different in your headphones.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't
it?
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't it?
Damn you, Cole Johnson, for creating this.
Yeah.
Why do we do all this goofing off?
Why?
Because, yes, LeBron, it is you. It has always been you. It always will be you forever and ever. Amen.
Till you retire. Amen.
Amen. And why? And let's get into football. Why are the Pittsburgh Steelers in the hell that they're in? Because, yes, Aaron, it is you.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh, I knew that
Aaron
was
Rodgers
coming.
has gotten
Even
the
with the new helmet, he hates.
I knew that was coming.
It's listen, Shane spoke it. I graphatized it.
Again, this is what
I
I do.
videoized it, I should say.
This is just what I do. I mean, it could always be worse when it comes down to things at the end of the day.
Oh,
it could be this mustard-eating idiot.
I'm not going to say it.
Get that ranch.
My wife's sleeping.
Wait. Hold up. You're not going to say it, but I think we've got something for that. Where'd it go? Oh, here. Yes, we actually now have the sound for that.
Shout out, Lil John.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And while I'm being goofy, the Baltimore Ravens are going to fail this year.
Am I going to be? Does that make me Mickey?
Because yes, Lamar.
Or Pooh? Or Winnie the Pooh?
Winnie the Pooh.
And why are the Chicago Bears going to go winless this year?
Oh my God.
Oh my.
Why are the Chicago Bears going to go winless this year? I'm totally joking as I go along here. Because they have mortgaged, risked, doubled down, and threw away their entire future. Say it, fellas. For
Caleb Williams.
And Caleb Williams. There go my wheels.
Curveball.
That was a knuckle ball. What the hell are you talking about?
That's why I'm the super villain.
That was a knuckle
ball from the super villain.
That's right.
Super villain is causing chaos again. See?
That's right.
But see, I agree with him though.
Yeah.
Caleb would.
Well, again,
all right, I'm going to say it in a fashion.
Get him a line, and he'll do all right. Otherwise, he's going to be running around and
for his life.
He's going for his life, like they did with Justin Fields.
And then by the end of the season, he's going to be sacked 127 times.
Then I'm
here's
going to say
here's a parlay. Ooh, here's a parlay for you guys. Here's a parlay.
Talk to me.
Brought to you by Wanna Parlay, FYI.
I need to get Ryan. I need McCoffee. I need to get you those reads also. Everybody's got to get the reads from me, and I have them ready. All right, talk. What we got?
Who throws more touchdown passes this year, Justin Fields or Caleb Williams?
Tie. They throw 6 apiece with 20 interceptions.
We talked about this last time, Snowman. We talked
I
about
know
Justin Fields not getting coached up. And now he's a running game.
And he ain't going to get coached up here. And he ain't going to get coached up here either. I'm sorry. Aaron Glenn's a defensive guy. I love you, Aaron Glenn, but Justin Fields needs, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Justin Fields needs a coach. And in the entirety of his NFL career, and I have nothing against Aaron Glenn. Saw him as a player, saw him as a coach. Dynamite defensive player. But hear me out. Justin Fields needs a coaching mind.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was Snowman
here.
And I hope he has it with this the quarterback coaches.
Who the heck is the quarterback's coach for the Jets?
Please hold real-time research loading.
All right.
Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, that was Snowman's soul you saw leaving and talking about Justin Fields.
No, my soul is fine. My soul is fine.
Are we sure about that?
I'll do a parlay. Wait, what? What I missed? What'd you say, Shane?
I said, are we sure about that?
No.
Okay.
No.
So here are his coaches. Our offensive coordinator Tanner Engstrand was the quarterback, I think he was the passing game coordinator in Detroit. And quarterback's coach is Charles London.
You're fired.
I've never heard of him before. I've never heard of him, honestly.
Repeating what I said before.
You're fired.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
the season hasn't even started, and Snowman's choosing violence.
Aaron Glenn is safe. As for every other coach on that roster,
You're fired.
I thought you would have gone for this one. I thought you would have gone for this button, actually.
You big dummy. You big dummy. You big dummy. You big cold-blooded dummy. You big dummy. See what you did? Oh, no, you big dummy. Oh, no, you big dummy. You dummy.
I thought you would have gone for that one.
I thought about it. But let's just Ryan, do not sock me in the nose for this. But since 2011, there's been a litany of Jets coaches, whether head or coordinator, that has been told, "You're fired."
You don't have to tell me twice. I know.
And these aren't going to be
suffered. I've suffered.
I know you have.
I've suffered through these 15
seasons. Listen,
I know.
The last great and the Rex Ryan seasons where he took him to the AFC Championship, not included. The last great season for the Jets was 1986 when they won the division title.
Nope. 1998. 1998.
I don't count that.
So they won, what?
Look.
They went to the AFC Championship that season.
Will you let me finish?
Fine, finish.
First of all, y'all got lucky. That was pure. I'm messing with him, folks. That was pure unadulterated luck. And your luck ran out when you got to the Mile High City and Terrell Davis ran over your ass in 30 minutes.
My mom and my dad are gonna have a fit watching that. They're like, "What happened to Snowman? He turned to the dark side." I'm like, Mom, he's always been on the dark side. Okay,
right?
Just look at it. Just look at him.
Yeah, well, that's one of the first jokes my wife's ever made with me. Okay. And yes, folks, Jody and I make those jokes about each other all the time. So, and we ain't tripping. Neither should you. But seriously, 1998, you faced Jacksonville for Christ's sakes
in the divisional because they won the NFC East.
I'll repeat my impending question.
They were on a hot streak. They were on.
Did you really expect Jacksonville to win coming to cold ass New Jersey?
It was close. It was close. It was a close game. And they won, and the Jets were the better team that day.
Okay. Then you went to Denver and got mauled by Terrell Davis.
In the second half. They were actually up at halftime.
They were up at halftime, and then Denver woke up. John Elway woke up. Terrell Davis woke up and said, enough is enough. We're tired of playing with you.
Yeah.
And I believe it was the big tuna who was the coach of the Jets at the time.
Yes, he was the coach. He was, yes.
Bill Parcells. I love Bill Parcells.
Me too.
Absolutely adore Bill Parcells.
Yep.
But Bill Parcells should have retired a Giant.
Yeah.
I know. Which explains his soft tenure in Dallas when you had Tony Romo as your quarterback, for God's sakes. What does that tell you?
Or the fact we had him in New England with Drew Bledsoe.
But see, Drew Bledsoe was a project becoming a quarterback. That's different.
Yeah.
That's different. Okay? He was trying to save a quarterback by the name of Vinny Testaverde. And the last great game for Vinny Testaverde, they're coming for me, I know. The last great game for Vinny Testaverde was the Midnight Miracle in 2000 against the Miami Dolphins when the Jets somehow or another, don't ask me how, under Al Groh of all coaches, scored 30 points in the fourth quarter.
Yep. Yeah.
I was up late watching that game, listening to the call from, let me see, who did the Monday night call? From Joel Myers, who did it for Westwood One. Howard David was the voice of the Jets at the time. And now you want to, here I go tying it up again. You want to play a parlay of who throws more touchdowns, Caleb Williams or Justin Fields? Neither of them. You can't make a parlay like that because they're two sorry-ass quarterbacks.
Well, tough noogies. I'm going to make it anyway.
Go for it. Go for it.
I hate to tell you, but those sirens are coming for the supervillain on that one.
Okay.
No, they're not.
I don't care. Anyway, I know how Victor feels getting kicked in the ribs.
See?
Yeah, and here comes the
All
ambulance to
because
make sure
I
you end up
playfully,
getting treated right.
all because
that
I
ambulance is coming
playfully mentioned a parlay of two quarterbacks. All right.
No.
And Blake, you're gonna get it for that comment. The Pat Mahomes being the
That's
GOAT.
just the bare
Stop.
minute from
Stop.
I have been spoiled by the GOAT. Pat ain't the GOAT
Stop.
yet. Listen, Blake, I hate to inform you of this, but Patrick Mahomes is not the GOAT yet. All right. And I know Shane's gonna send the sirens for me with my next sentence. You got to do a lot more to get to Montana's level.
True.
I'm surprised Shane didn't come after me.
I mean, look at what Brady had to do to get on Montana's level, and he's still barely underneath them. Like we've said,
and
one
and
and 1A.
Yep, and that's a great thing. Whenever Shane and I have that argument, it ain't an argument because we both agree 1 and 1A. It just depends on the day and who's leading the argument. As far as the Jets go, look, I want to trust the Jets this season.
Here we go.
I want to trust the Jets this season, and I want Ryan McCoffey to hand me some receipts. But unfortunately, the way I'm looking at it, that receipt book's going to be empty.
Well, the coach who mentioned the receipts is now gone, so he went back to your neck of the woods. So,
okay, good.
No more receipts. No more receipts. I'm done with the receipts.
No, you're not.
Yes,
no,
I
you're
am.
not.
Yes,
I know you. You have that green ass notebook waiting for me. I know you.
See, fortunately,
I know you.
Blake,
hell, Victor said 2 years ago that he was going to hand me some receipts until he popped on a live stream of mine and went, "Is it over yet?"
Can you leave me alone, please?
No, you've been my friend for 25 years. I'm going to pick on you.
I mean, it could always be worse.
This has been yet another Beating a Dead Horse presentation.
Now, I didn't push that button.
I hate it here.
No, you don't. You're having too much fun.
I was thinking the same thing.
Let's get real for just a second.
Damn it, do we have to?
Unfortunately, yes.
Damn it.
Okay, seconds over.
Not predetermined?
Mm-mm.
Oh, God.
How do you think Justin Fields will do this year? Seriously.
Realistically?
Wait a minute. You know what I should have had?
Look, you dropped that on me like
just a minute. Just a minute. Let's allow Ryan a little time to think about this.
Please.
And Blake, shut up. Blake, shut up. Do not give the Mormon Republic any ideas, please.
He doesn't have to give them any ideas, Vic. You know that. They've already got the ideas.
I mean, look at who the commissioner of the Moronic Republic is, for crying out loud.
Gerald Jack Daniels.
Yep.
Now, back to our question. How
Realistic.
good will the Jets and Justin Fields be this year?
I think they'll be okay as long as they can trust it, as long as the running game gets going. If the running game gets going, then it'll help him out. Because that's what happened in 2009 and 2010.
They had a running game.
Mark Sanchez couldn't be he could be trusted. He was still he was a rookie quarterback in 2009, second year in 2010. And then for some reason, they just let him have the keys to the offense in 2011. We know what happened from there.
And yeah, we know the end of that story.
He was helped by a ground and pound rushing attack of Thomas Jones, Sean Green. You've got Breece Hall, and who Nathaniel Hackett couldn't figure out that he can catch out of the backfield until week 6 of last year.
Yep.
And you've got Braylon Allen.
Hackett.
Stupid Nathaniel Hackett. God. better not
Stupid
show
idiot.
face in New York anytime soon. Anywho, but he's got a two-headed rushing attack with Braylon Allen and Breece Hall. I think he'll be okay, honestly. But here's the thing with the contract: it's a 2-year contract with a 1 season, with a 1 year out. So if they don't feel like he helped the club at all this year in 2025, they don't have to exercise that option. You can be free to go to, I don't know, the IFL or the CFL, or
Don't put him in the CFL. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's like putting Johnny Manziel in the CFL, for God's sakes, and we know how that story turned out.
Oh, my poor Alouettes, man. They got it.
I feel for you, Alouettes. Now I am now a supporter of the Alouettes because y'all had to deal with supposedly Johnny Football.
Yeah,
I saw the massacres. I saw the indecision.
I watched the first game, and then he just looked out of his league.
He was.
It could always be worse. You could always have the clown as in the CFL if he doesn't go to jail.
Oh dear God!
No, keep him away. Keep him away. He probably won't be allowed in the country anyway if he has that charge come up on himself.
Stupid.
He won't be allowed in the country.
You big dummy.
No, he's one of the big dummy. He's trying to be the real Joker.
Yeah, he is.
Did you guys talk about Sophie Cunningham yet?
No, it's all yours.
All right. I saw some rage bait online.
Oh no!
Courtesy of Outkick. I read an article this morning. Apparently, somebody is running a petition on Change.org to have Sophie Cunningham booted out of the WNBA because she defended Caitlin Clark.
For defending?
Whoa! Time. Because of what?
Because she stood up for Caitlin Clark. Get in the button. Get in the button. Get him, Snowman. Get him.
Hank! Better yet.
Oh dear God.
Here it comes.
There is a petition on change.org, as we have been informed, to get Sophie Cunningham booted out of the league. Am I understanding this correctly?
That's according to Outkick, yes.
According to Outkick. First of all, consider the source. Second of all, who's the asshole that would organize a petition like that? Okay? Matter of fact,
precisely who they're talking about. An a-hole.
Go.
An a-hole. That's who. Here it is.
Where's that Cole Johnson button that you have, Snowman?
Ladies and gentlemen,
what the
just so you know,
in the absolute is this.
I hate to tell you guys something.
A damn petition for Sophie Cunningham to get booted out of the league when they should have never drafted Angel Reese in the first place. Are you kidding me?
The
bitch can't play basketball.
I hate to tell you, but the petition is real, and there's almost 200 people who have signed it.
It's real.
Then these two.
Allow me to read the petition and
Go ahead.
Okay, this is from a user called The Crown.
The Crown.
Right.
The Crown.
Crown King. User Crown King nothing. Shout Metallica. It says.
And Victor for putting that damn song in my head.
Yes,
I got you. It says.
No quote.
The issue. Sophie Cunningham's repeated displays of unsportsmanlike conduct during games against the Connecticut Sun have reached a point where decisive action is necessary. Cunningham has been involved in numerous incidents that have not only compromised the safety of other players, but also tarnished the reputation of the NBA as a league that prides itself on integrity and fair play.
Whoa. Read that again.
I'm looking for this.
I have this entire.
I'll send you the link. I'll send you guys.
Please do.
Yeah,
I've got it right in front of me.
Put it in the back chat for me. I want to take a look at this.
All right.
I got it right here, boss man. Just give me a split second.
Let me continue because it goes on.
Please.
The WNBA has always been a beacon of sportsmanship and empowerment, showcasing the talents of incredible athletes.
Stop. Quick prayers for our good friend Jeffrey. His brother passed away on Monday. So for Jeffrey, this one's for you, especially prayers from all of us to you and your family.
Yes,
Just all of his prayers for you and your family.
Is that coming in through my
I have it here in front of me.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yep,
it's yours, Ryan. Take it.
All right. However, players must adhere to a code of conduct that ensures fairness and respect on the court. Sophie Cunningham's aggressive and malicious actions have violated these principles, diminishing the spirit of competition and setting a poor example for aspiring young athletes. Incidents of note include Cunningham's on-court aggressions that have led to physical altercations, injury to fellow athletes, and disruption of games.
This is real.
Impacting both teams' performances and the overall enjoyment of fans. Her behavior not only affects immediate players, but also threatens the league's standing in the sporting community and its image as a promoter of positive, inspiring athletics. We urge the WNBA to hold its standards and take firm action against players who repeatedly demonstrate disrespect and aggression towards others. Removing Sophie Cunningham from the league would send a strong message that the WNBA does not tolerate violence or intimidation, ensuring that the court remains a place for celebration, skill, and unity rather than conflict. Stand with us in calling for change to preserve the essence of what WNBA basketball truly represents. Sign this petition to demand Sophie Cunningham's removal from the league and help maintain the WNBA as a shining example of professionalism and respect in sports. Close quote.
Who in the blue hell wrote this bullshit?
Commish?
Who in the violet, blue, yellow-bellied, red-blooded hell wrote this kind of debauchery? That they want a petition to get Sophie Cunningham out of the league when you should get Marina Mabry out of the league. Y'all want to go there? I go there. Marina Mabry should have been suspended. Old Snowman said it earlier this morning, and I agree. Marina Mabry should have been kicked out and suspended for a couple games. So y'all want to have a petition to stop Sophie Cunningham's supposed violence, and you won't stop the violence against Caitlin Clark. What is wrong with this picture?
Everything.
Hella.
What is wrong? What is hella wrong with this picture, you stupid souls? Writing a petition for Sophie Cunningham, who was doing what she's supposed to do, and yet nobody else in the league, and more importantly on her team, won't stand up for Caitlin Clark when she gets raked across the face, punched in the gut, and body to the ground by a player that should not even be playing the next couple of games. Who the hell wrote this debauchery? You want a petition? I'll give you a petition. I petition for Kathy Engelbert to have her removed as commissioner of the league and me come in as a commissioner of the league. I'll kick everybody's out that don't belong there. And Angel Reese, that includes you. Of course, I'm kidding as I say that. But at the same time, I'll make sure order is restored. You want to kick Sophie Cunningham out the league because she defended her teammate? That's some bullshit. And you won't defend Caitlin Clark in the process, Kathy Engelbert, you stupid. And that's bullshit.
What the hell is wrong with people?
This thing's real.
It's real.
What in the absolute blue hell is wrong with people?
This thing's real. I can't believe it.
She stands up for a teammate and people are petitioning for her to get tossed. I'm sorry, but what in the hell, man?
I know you guys said consider the source because it's Outkick and they're kind of clickbaity, but this was I had to look for myself
real.
and
This was totally real. And we got somebody that's going to come in and
oh
yeah,
she's already in the chat. She's already in the chat.
She is.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, I'll let her cook because she's more privy to the
situation. She needs to.
But
Allie,
I just want to point that. I just want to point that out.
Thank you, sir. And part of that rant was playful, but part of it was not. I'll let you guess which part was which. But y'all know I mess around everybody. Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate you coming.
Thanks, gents.
I have got
wow.
Guys.
Wow. I can't believe I read that.
No.
I can't believe I read it either.
I mean, it is change.org. This is the same organization that allowed a petition for people to say, we want Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer remastered to come out. And it hasn't happened yet. So just consider that.
How about this for change.org? Why don't you give some help to cancer patients, whether in remission or not, that actually need the help, that want to help their families? How about that?
True statement.
How about that? How about some equality in women's sports? How about that? How about that on change.org? How about that? How about allowing people to actually have the chance to choose their broadcast partner, in which, Allie, I choose you, to cover some games? How do you like them apples? Change.org. How about that? How about some support for small businesses that want to make a change in sports broadcasting by actually bringing people that actually know what the bleep they're doing? And again, going back to what I said a moment ago, choosing their partners to broadcast games instead of being stuck with someone that don't know a blanking thing that they're blanking doing. How about them apples? Here's Allie. Morning, Allie.
Hey. Good morning, guys. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Too long.
Way too long.
How are you?
I'm doing just fine. The fires caught me right in the lungs, and so it was. I was having trouble breathing for about a week after that, and so I missed everybody. Believe me, I really, really did. And what action we've missed! Oh my God!
Oh my Lord! I mean. You heard what we talked about just a moment ago.
Mm-hmm.
The petition on change.org to get Sophie Cunningham booted from the league when you won't take action against everybody else that won't stand for Caitlin Clark and the way she's been abused. Let's just call it the way we see it. If some social justice warrior police want to come after me for the wording of this, so be it. I will say it real. That's how y'all know me. Caitlin Clark has been absolutely abused on the court since she arrived, and no one is standing for her.
It's not even the WNBA at this point. There's
I call out this morning, gents. I called out Kathy Engelbert.
Yeah,
it's on her feet.
Mm-hmm.
Do something.
It is the worst. I've not seen ever in the WNBA people who have abused anyone as much as Caitlin Clark has been abused. And and you see it that the league is getting a hell of a lot more violent. Yes. Now, we're talking about it. And
we're the only ones that will talk about it.
For 28 years, the WNBA has been polite and nice, I guess, and maybe much less aggressive in their play. But it's when the women start acting like the WWE that everybody starts getting up in arms over it. Mm-hmm. Which is a real double-edged sword if you think about it for the league. I don't think Sophie Cunningham should be tossed out of the league. I think she's one hell of an enforcer. I think that she was doing her best to stand up to a really aggressive game and several really aggressive players. Would have been nice if Marina Mabry had maybe done more like that for the Sky, but who knows? Anyway,
I agree with that.
Yeah, but the thing is that when you have this kind of controversy, that is great for ratings. It's great for, people talking about it. It is not great for the players who have to play the game and also have to give their all. And especially in the case of Caitlin Clark, I've not seen such aggression towards any player in my lifetime I mean, and I've seen a whole bunch of people. I've never seen anybody like JC Sheldon poking Caitlin in the eye, and then Marina Mabry striking her down. Flagrant ones, okay? And one, I believe, is being upgraded to flagrant 2. So, but at this point, the problem is that the league hasn't done a damn thing about addressing it. There has been no statement from Kathy Engelbert. There's been no statement from any of the league's owners. The only one that has ever talked about it with any degree of paucity has been Stephanie White, the coach of the Indiana Fever. And she wasn't happy. She wasn't happy with the way the officiating went. By the way, kind of a funny anecdote to that story. There was an incident with Sophie Cunningham, who had this brawl going on. The security guard's hand placement on Sophie Cunningham after the incident, as he was hauling her off, a few people found his hand perilously near her backside.
Really?
As she was being hauled off the court. So, it's been crazy. Have we talked in the last couple of hours about the actual incident on between the Suns and the Fever?
Go for it.
Okay.
We'll talk about it here, but from this is my recalling of it because I called the game on Tuesday night.
Yeah,
Caitlin Clark went to drive to the left. JC Sheldon, Hassan Chop caught her in the eye. Caitlin Clark says, "Hey, enough of this BS." Retaliated. Caitlin Clark, for some dumb reason, and I stress the word dumb, received a technical foul when I think it was just everything that's been happening to her in the year plus in the league boiling over.
Yeah.
I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah. Well, so that was the first incident. And then that set off a wave of pushing and yelling and all kinds of tension between both teams. And Sophie Cunningham got a little revenge standing up. They exchanged some words, and so it kind of looked to me like an all-out hockey fight. Yep. To be honest with you, it was. But the biggest problem that I felt was that there. Allowing incidences like that to escalate as it did, they're already 48 hours too late in saying anything about it. Is this normal play? Do we need to expect this every time? I mean, if we have, this is one of the reasons why hockey many years ago banned fighting. I will remember, I remember the days when the Blackhawks and the Red Wings were in the same conference, and that ice was so bloody by the end of it. And is this the way we're going to go from now on in the WNBA? I mean, a little fighting, sure. Okay. We like a little bit.
But as you said a moment ago, Allie, you don't want it to turn to Red Wings Blackhawks from the late 80s and the 90s. And you sure as hell don't want to see it become Pistons Bulls, since we're talking Detroit, Chicago references. You don't want to see Pistons Bulls again. But unfortunately, with the Sun and the Fever, and I fear with the Sky and the Fever, especially since the Indiana Fever played basketball twice and whooped their asses twice, and the Sky being being at their own fault because they didn't take advantage of opportunity. And now with Caitlin Clark back on the floor, this is where it's trending, and I don't like it. From a fellow that's covered women's basketball since 2000, I hate it. I hate the way where this is going right now.
Yeah, this is frightening. It's really frightening, and it can only get worse. And the same night, Angel Reese had the same issue of sorts. It didn't escalate as badly, but if you'll remember, in the last quarter of the game against the Washington Mystics in the Sky, basically, Angel Reese took a swipe at Kiki Arafin with her right hand. Arafin fell to the floor after the contact. The play continued on. There were no fouls given. There was nothing. But here's what happened. The Sky fell apart after that and ended up losing to the Mystics 79-72.
And this is after they held a 16-point lead as late as the middle of the third quarter.
Yeah.
And that was Tuesday night, because I had my eye on that game while I was covering the Fever game. I had my eye on that. I saw the incident. It broke Chicago apart.
Yeah.
Allowed Washington to get their act together, especially from the outside. They race back and win the game. How when you see an incident like that demoralize a team, there's a problem.
Well, there's a big problem with the Chicago Sky, as we know. You have a rookie coach that, in my opinion, really doesn't know what he's doing.
We talked about that too.
Thank you for saying that. Absolutely. Thank you for saying that, because we said that. We said that at the time. Allie was the first to say it on this program. He didn't know what the hell he was doing, and she said that at the top of the season. And the look on her face said everything.
Right.
She introduced him, and she paused for a minute. That look on Allie's face told me everything I needed to know about how she feels about Coach Marsh and how he's coaching the Sky, because they're being run into the ground right now.
Yeah. I mean, they're at the bottom of the power rankings. There's nothing good that I can see coming out of the season, especially after Courtney Vandersloot going down. It's one of the tragedies of the season. She didn't have to go down either, to my mind. It was the worst of all possible ways for Vandersloot to probably end her career. I cannot even imagine.
I don't want to say it, but is this it for Sloot after that ACL injury? I think this is it.
I think so. I mean, I don't think that she wants it that way, but let's face it. She's 35, 36 years old at this time.
And this is her 15th season.
Yeah. And I remember covering her draft. And the thing is that there's only so much basketball you can play, particularly after an ACL tear. That's a year-long process to get yourself back to even feeling like you can take on the world again.
Right.
She's going to be in rehab for months. She's going to be about 38 when she's able to come back. And, anything is possible, but by that time, her and Allie Quigley's little baby is going to be, 2-3 years old. There's going to be a terrible twos. You're a father of daughters.
I am.
You know what the twos are.
I do indeed. And not only am I a father, I'm also a grandfather. My littlest one just got out of the turbo. She just turned 3.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
Been there, done that, got plenty of t-shirts to prove it.
I can only imagine. It's going to be so difficult for Courtney to come back and to be that general on the floor. She could still do the general type thing, but I think that would be the end of the Sky season.
Yeah.
Somewhere between Tyler Marsh and Courtney Vandersloot not being there. Now, I will say that they have been the players themselves have been pretty gracious to Tyler Marsh.
Mm-hmm.
They have said, Angel Reese said that they have to give Tyler grace because he's a rookie coach. He's the head coach, but it's us on the floor. She said we have to look ourselves in the mirror and be patient with ourselves and continue to just grind, which is what she had to say, to my mind.
She had to let the frustration is building in the Chicago locker room.
Yeah.
You get 2 in a row over Dallas.
Yeah.
And then came the second round of games that everybody was looking forward to and circling on their calendar. And we didn't get a chance to talk about it, which was the first one in the United Center against Indiana.
Right.
And we talked about this, but we didn't have you on with us. Angel Reese had the spotlight all to herself because Caitlin Clark was injured.
Right.
19,464 in the United Center in downtown Chicago.
Right.
And only 4 points.
Yeah. It was kind of pathetic. It was an embarrassment to all of the Chicago Sky fans. Yep. They really, at that point, I felt like there was a chance for them, but not after Courtney went down. The biggest problem, I think, too, is that they don't know how to play the third quarter. And Ariel Atkins even addressed that in a press conference. He said, they said that she said, our third quarters have been so tough now, we have to have a good fourth quarter. The problem is, all of these games have been winnable.
Every game has been winnable for them. Every single game they have played this season has been winnable.
Yeah.
In the Sky game in Chicago, in the United Center, it was the second quarter that killed them.
Yeah.
And then the Fever, mind you, Caitlin Clark was injured. And then third quarter, Indiana picked up the pace and ran away.
Yeah.
And you saw the body language. This is something Allie and I talk about a lot from our days of covering the Sky before. The body language that the Sky was showing by the time midway through the third quarter came on and Indiana just ran off 10 in a row. Coach Marsh had to call a timeout. They were defeated. And that from a team, but when you don't have that cohesion, there's another word that we talk about a lot. When you don't have that cohesion, you got a problem.
Yes.
And right now, the Chicago Sky have major problems going on.
They do. And I don't see a way forward. I really don't see a way forward for them. Now, I hate being a doomsayer. I love the Chicago Sky. I always have, and have always wondered why they haven't gotten somebody with some kind of prestige. James Wade may come along only once in a lifetime, right? Somebody who had the pedigree of working for Cheryl Reeve for so long up in Minnesota. And and also having worked in the European leagues. Now, I just don't see that Marsh has either the ability or the pedigree even working with someone as prestigious in the game as Becky Hammon with the Aces. I don't see that there's a way forward. He doesn't know how to manage that talent. Using too much of the Rachel Bannons, using too much of those who are not going to be in real contention. You can, you just can't make a team the way he's trying to make this team.
Yep.
And it's very clear he doesn't know what he's doing. And that just hurts me to say that.
It hurts me to see it.
Yeah.
It hurt me to see it.
Yeah.
Because like I said, Allie and I have covered this guy for a long time. Both of us basically have been covered since their inception. And we've seen some great Chicago Sky teams. Elena Deladon, hello.
Yes.
We've seen teams that have wiped out deficits to come back to win games. Quite a few of those we both saw live at the old Rosemont Horizon.
Yes.
Now you have it's been so bad. I mean, this is the same Chicago Sky team that once upon a time had one of the darlings of the league. I think you know her name well, Candace Parker.
Yep. She was the one who put them over the top and
brought them a championship.
Yes, she did.
Since then, and it hurts me to say that.
Yes.
It absolutely hurts me to say that.
Well, it tells you also how important the role of coaching properly is.
Yes.
And the role of understanding chemistry and understanding the type of environment that it takes to win. And while you may not have the Teresa Weatherspoon one season era of maybe favoring these, couple of players and having kind of a destructive environment, apparently you don't have that anymore. But you have a group that does not know how to build chemistry and find a footing to win. And there's been no help from the coaches. Now, they may all love each other and it's all kumbaya in the locker room, but what good is that if there's nobody winning? What good is it?
If you can keep the kind of criticism on Caitlin Clark and the Fever for not winning for the first half of last year before she and her teammates, I want to stress that, she and her teammates got the Olympic break. And then they came out like gangbusters, averaging 95 points the second half of the year. You can heap the same kind of criticism on Chicago and other teams if they're not performing up to standards. Las Vegas Aces, hello.
Yeah.
Right now, it's Minnesota and New York and everybody else,
and the Indiana Fever
and the Fever have come on lately. Caitlin Clark being back in the lineup, and plus they're playing for the Commissioner's Cup.
That's right. And
they're playing for the Commissioner's Cup.
Would we have laid odds on that at the beginning of the year? I don't think we would have.
I don't think we would have. Honestly, I don't think we would have.
Yeah, I don't think that. I just don't think that that the Fever get enough credit for what they're building in their conference and for the WNBA. They are playing some pretty good basketball. They're playing a very aggressive game. And the thing is that they are. They're such a force. I wouldn't be too surprised if at some point they surpass the Liberty.
You know what got them on their way? A 14-point wipeout of said Liberty.
Yes.
Caitlin Clark's return. Let's hit that for a moment.
Yeah.
What should have told the league that not only is Caitlin back, but so are the Fever, and the Fever are getting their act together.
Mm-hmm.
A 38-second clip.
Yeah.
Her teammates, Caitlin Clark's teammates, finding her and her being the hot hand. She hit 3 absolutely ridiculous 3-point goals.
Yes.
38 seconds.
Uh-huh.
That's as ridiculous as seeing Steph go on a run like that. And Lord knows we've seen that from Steph Curry in 16 seasons.
Yes, we have.
And there was something
we have.
That's what I did want to touch on. How big was it? And we've seen, like, you know, how the NBA tends to like reach out and like give some shine to their WNBA sisters. Like we saw it with Sabrina and Steph in the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
How interesting, how big was it for LeBron James to, you know, say, look, the Caitlin Clark effect is real, and she was missed.
Yes.
That was the cherry on top of the ice cream sundae.
And there were reactions all over the place when when that tweet dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The late great Jack Buck said it best. Pardon me while I stand up and applaud. when we see that. My wife was in her office and I was covering that game. It was an afternoon game. The more times she heard me say splash, she comes running out and looking behind me going, what happened? What'd I miss?
That's something.
And then I said, honey, they won. She says, I heard you. I was trying to keep it to a low roar, but when Caitlin Clark hits a 30-footer, then a 32-footer, and then a 28-footer in 38 seconds, no, I couldn't keep quiet about that. Tried, failed.
As well you should have, Brian. That was a key moment. It also was the game that brought them into the Commissioner's Cup final. And I think that everyone on planet Earth should watch that final because it's going to be vicious. It's going to be fun. And
I'm going to have this microphone in front of me when that final happens.
All right. Let me know if you need anything, buddy. But
bring it on. I'm gonna have this microphone in front of me, this headset here, and you on camera with me when we do that Commissioner's Cup final.
All right.
That was the game they needed to win because with Clark being out 5 games, the Fever were looked at as an afterthought. And they lost one in the Commissioner's Cup standings. They lost 1 game and they needed to beat New York to get to the final. How about 102 points?
How about it?
How about 102 points?
Let's go
over our power rankings. What do the power rankings say?
Power rankings. Well, we got to go with the Minnesota Lynx at number 1. First of all, 10-1. It's odd. Now we have no undefeateds, and the Fever was responsible for the New York Liberty. And interestingly enough, though, with the Lynx, their loss came after last Wednesday's 94-84 loss at Seattle, and Minnesota just didn't play well enough to win, despite Nafisa Collier's 32 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. How that didn't get them.
Good gracious.
Yeah. And
Nafisa Collier, I'm looking forward now to Caitlin Clark going up against Nafisa Collier.
I
guarantee that's going to be a 100-point game.
That is. Oh, yeah.
Easily.
That's going to be a 100-point game. I
guarantee you that. I can't wait. We'll see if it goes to a brawl. We'll see about that. It's.
I don't want a brawl. I want a 100-point. I want a 102, 101 kind of game between those two.
I would love that. I think that's going to be great. But I mean, how great was it though? With the New York Liberty, who by the way is number 2 in the rankings this week. And they will. They're playing Phoenix tonight, and they're playing Seattle on the 22nd. The thing is, what greater way for Caitlin Clark to announce I'm back than to defeat I mean, and what a defeat it was. However, you've got a problem coming up with the Liberty. They don't have Jonquil Jones.
No, that's
and
a big
she's got an ankle problem.
Mm-hmm.
And they also don't have Leonie Fibich as well, because she's doing Eurobasket for Germany.
Fibich, the first time the Liberty and the Fever played in India, Fibich killed us.
Yes.
From deep. Fibich, every time Fibich came in the game, she killed us, man.
She did. Yeah, she's one hell of a player. I love European basketball probably because of her. And she's been pretty amazing. And the thing that really struck me was, wow, Sabrina Ionescu can be defeated in that game, in the game against the Fever. She can be. It was a surprise.
Yeah, it was.
I was going, gee whiz, was Caitlin Clark even really injured? I mean, how bad was it? She had 25 first half points.
When the 3-pointers kept getting longer and longer and longer, as I mentioned earlier, Steph Curry, hello. When they kept getting longer, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm like, let's beat that. I want to see if only at the WNBA All-Star game, if they could get Steph Curry out of his, off-season vacation.
I already know where you're going, and we beat you to it. The Splash Brothers against the Splash Sisters.
Yes.
You bring Steph and Clay on one side, Sabrina and Caitlin on the other side.
I am so there with you.
There is your headliner.
Yes.
All-Star Weekend. And where's All-Star Weekend this year? Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yes, it is. Yeah, they just actually announced.
Which means there are never going to be enough seats. There's never going to be enough seats.
No.
They should move that. I want you want to petition to the fellow who to the person who made that Sophie Cunningham petition. I'll give you a positive one. Move the All-Star Weekend to Lucas Oil Stadium.
I'm good with that.
Any kind of money. They'll sell that joint out in minutes.
Easily.
If you can do it for the NBA in 2024 when they had their All-Star Weekend at Lucas Oil Stadium, when Sabrina and Steph went at it, you can do it for this year. You can move the All-Star game to Indianapolis. They did it at the last minute in Dallas for the NBA, moving it from American Airlines Arena to Cowboy Stadium. What happened? 108,000.
Exactly.
You can't tell me you can't put 70,000 at Lucas Oil Stadium. If you can do it for the NCAA, you got Caitlin Clark in the house. She's been saving everything post-Olympics for the All-Star Weekend. And believe me, she was offered a chance to participate in this NBA All-Star game out in San Francisco. She says, nope, I want to save it for Indianapolis. You can't tell me that you can make one little phone call and move everything to Lucas Oil Stadium and sell that joint out in minutes. Yeah.
I'm totally with you on that, Brian. I think it would be fabulous. I think that if maybe we should send this show to the commissioners that be and
quit reading my mind.
Yeah,
quit reading my mind.
Just say,
you and Shane and Victor all read my mind before I could speak everything I want to speak.
And you're an Indiana dude. I mean, how far is Indianapolis from your house?
Less than an hour.
Less than an hour. There you go.
I can get to Indy in less than an hour.
Okay,
Matter of fact, if I could pull it off, the weekend, All-Star Weekend, we should be there. Some kind of way we should be in Indy for WNBA All-Star Weekend. They could move it to Lucas Oil Stadium in a minute. They can move it in a heartbeat. Where are the Fever in your power rankings?
The Fever are number 5 in the power rankings. So preceded by the Phoenix Mercury, just because their record's better. Okay. True. They've had a good
Phoenix to come. Who expected Phoenix to come out like gangbusters?
Exactly. Yeah, they're having like a renaissance here. And
so is Atlanta.
You've got it. Yes.
Atlanta.
They're my number 3 this week. They're averaging 84.6 points per game, and they rank third in the league compared to a league worst 77.0 last season.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, they went 3-0 last week. They won over Indiana and the Sky, of course.
Alicia Gray killed us. Can we have some love for Alicia Gray?
Yeah.
Alicia Gray, that lefty dynamo, killed us.
I love her.
Every time the Fever got close, and they played this without Caitlin Clark. Every time the Fever got close, Alicia Gray says, no, you don't, and drops in a 3 from anywhere.
And you got to remember too, I give credit to Carl Smesko, their new coach.
Yes.
He has been a guiding light. Why wasn't he on the radar for the Sky? I
can answer that with 3 simple words, just like the Bears. Who's in charge?
That's
I rest
fair.
my case.
Now,
the
I love Adam Fox. I have loved him all the years. I love Michael Alter. I do. I think they're wonderful people, and they've afforded us a very nice life for the last 15 or so years. Yeah. And my heart is bleeding. It's just bleeding. So I think, though, that it was crazy that the Atlanta Dream has had this incredible renaissance. They used to be the worst of the league, and now they are.
Time they played Indiana, they were at State Farm Arena in Atlanta.
Right.
Full house. You can't tell me the Caitlin Clark effect is not real.
Yes.
We've known this since Carver Hawkeye Arena.
I've got to mention something to you. If you don't think that the Caitlin Clark effect is real, the stadiums may have been full. However, the Fever national TV games were down 53%.
Yep.
In those games that she was gone, they were averaging 1,810,000 viewers before the injury and 847,000 viewers afterwards. Now, in most years, that would have been joyful to get 847,000 viewers, but we've been spoiled by the Caitlin Clark effect. Yes, and without Caitlin, I mean, there is a real effect here. The last tickets that went for the Sky and Fever game were down about to $3.
Yep.
At the end.
These weren't nosebleeds.
No.
These were not nosebleeds.
Frightening.
Victor and I went through something similar when we were covering Brother Rice High School in 2005. They had a fellow by the name of Bobby Frazier. And Frazier was injured at the time they were to play the number 1 team in Illinois, St. Joseph's. And we know the legend of Gene Pingatore. This game took place at the UIC Pavilion. We already expected a sellout, but then word came down from Pat Richardson, the legendary Pat Richardson, that Frazier just could not go because of a back injury. And we started thinking, how many tickets are going to be given away with Frazier not playing? Well, as it turned out, they weren't. Everybody came in, 8,500 in the house. And it didn't need to be Bobby Frazier that put on a show. Brian Harrigan did that for us with 6 3-point goals. And we're talking distance 6 3-point goals. And Rice ran out to a big lead. St. Joseph came all the way back, got within 1, but they made a critical mistake at the end and let Brian Harrigan open to seal the game.
Right.
We talked to many, many fans after the game on both sides, and they were applauding. They were just applauding. There were some that heard us live on the broadcast because they were out of town.
Mm-hmm.
They enjoyed it. It's the same effect that Caitlin Clark has.
Yes.
The Fever have had nothing but sellouts since she's been drafted number 1, and you ain't going to get a seat at Gainbridge Fieldhouse as long as she is a member of the Indiana Fever, period.
Or a media credential. So
you know what? I got a bone to pick with their asses.
Here we go.
I figured.
I sent my credential request in as soon as they opened the portal for these last 2 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think I got? I'm sorry, we're not able to credential you at this time. And so old Snowman got together with his wife and a couple of other people, and we're like, oh yeah, watch this. So I've been doing the play-by-play online.
Yeah. God bless the child who gets his own. That's
Agreed. Agreed.
There's always a workaround, which I like.
And I love it. Speaking of workaround, Athletes Unlimited Softball is off and running.
They are, gangbusters out at Parkway Bank Park. I'm back in Rosemont. On Jenny Finch Way. It's a joy to watch AUSL softball. Athletes Unlimited Softball League is what it's called. They are there from June 7th to August 31st. And if you want to see some truly professional softball, that is what to do. Now, here's an interesting dilemma, Brian. You know that in 2026, there's going to be baseball for all and a new baseball league starting. And there has been a very long debate over the presence of women in baseball and their ability to play. When we talked with Al Lautenschlager a while ago, by the way, he's got another book. We got to have him on again, called Cincinnati Soul. And
Al, you have an open invitation. I'm putting it out there.
Come on in.
Open invitation from us.
Come on in. It's the thing is that he talked about women as coaches and women as executives in the league and things like that. Yes. However, my contention has always been that women should not only be able to play softball, women should play baseball. It's a smaller ball, for God's sakes. You can handle a smaller ball, okay?
Victor, we covered games at Ho Chunk for many, many seasons.
Yeah.
We've seen many girls come in and rock the damn house.
Exactly.
One name, Deja Bell.
Ah, yes.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to bring up Little League World Series.
Listen, Deja Bell gave me the vibes of a young Doc Gooden.
Yeah,
and anyone who has seen Dwight Gooden,
I interviewed Dwight Gooden. I was 5 years old.
Anybody who has seen the likes of Roger Clemens, Doc Gooden, Nolan Ryan, you saw it in Deja Bell because Deja Bell wasn't afraid to rear back and fire a fastball by
That's right.
And she was one of their aces.
Pedro early days in Boston.
I say there's room for everybody everywhere, wherever they want to be. We have that reason. We've got the options. I think I have said for years that women could compete on the baseball field.
I agree.
I think if you're more comfortable with a 12-inch or a 16-inch softball, Fabulous. Go play that game. Don't limit people to what you think they can do. Let them do what they can do.
And
because there is no reason for anybody to limit their skills or have to adjust because they're not able due to whatever restriction they think, whether you can't go 9 innings or, the game's too hard. I disagree that it's too hard. I disagree. And I'm sorry, I'm on a rant. The thing is that women have been completely underestimated in most every aspect. I remember Greg, my boyfriend, and I were watching the WNBA last week, and he's like, "That ball looks smaller," and I'm going, "Well, it is." It's like an inch smaller than your regulation NBA ball. He goes, "Why is that?" I'm going, "The hell if I know." It's I used to play with regulation basketballs, whatever it was for youth sports in back in the 1970s, and I did but they didn't discriminate in parochial school, grade school ball.
Right.
You use the same balls as the guys did. So I don't see the big deal. It's only a matter of size, but let the women play exactly the way the men play.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
You'll get beast mode every time.
PWHL, anybody?
PWHL, man.
PWHL, anybody?
They play a very similar game to the men. They have 3 periods. They do their thing. And damn, they're aggressive. But
Allie, I gotta thank you for turning me on to the PWHL. I gotta thank you for turning me on to that league, because now there's a certain person that's been in my head saying, "Did you get your coverage package ready for season 3?" I'll answer that. Yes, I have.
Good work.
Everything is lined up and ready, and I'm calling the sponsors out. You want some good coverage? Come and get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, it's not that many months.
I have been busy, to say the least. I have been busy putting the foundation together.
That's awesome.
Man, women in sports needs to keep happening.
Well, it's the time to make it happen.
This is the time to capitalize on it.
Yes. And also reconsider some of these things that we've been talking about for a long time. What will be the rules of fighting in the WNBA? What's going to be the size of those balls? To me, I think it's a pivotal time to also look at the rules and see where we can be different. The new CBA for the WNBA needs to be signed by October 31st, I believe. Yep. And one has to take a look and see where they're going to be going in the next few years. By the way, you mentioned the PWHL. Next year, they're going to have 2 more teams in the league. So, we are growing all over.
Oh, yeah.
And it is going to be fantabulous to have so many new spots for players. I mean, it's going to be great. And but you don't hear about the fighting in women's hockey.
They just want to play ball. They just want to play hockey.
That's it.
And these are women that play with speed, they play with power, and they play with a lot of skill.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. They're great. And as long as Kendall Coyne Schofield stays around, I am going to be there. And longer than that, as far as I'm concerned. It's going to be a really interesting next season because, you could say the first year of a new league, and the PWHL is going to be 3 years old. What's going to happen is the first year is always the fascination year. It's new, it's an anomaly. You'll get big ratings. What do you do during the sophomore year to make it interesting? They got a good TV channel for their second year, so that helped. And the league continues to expand. That'll make it even more interesting the third year. You've got kids coming up from college who are going to be vying for spots, and they have grown up playing hockey as equals with the NHL. So that's going to be just terrific. And I'm looking forward to this next season.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it to see more of the growth that we saw in season 2. And can anybody take down the Minnesota Frost? Because they started under the radar, and the next thing you know, they're hoisting the cup again. And we run out of time. But Allie, wonderful as always having you here. All the knowledge that you bring, the hijinks, the fun. We have a lot of fun with you here. You are, my dear, a permanent part of this show.
Well,
so blab it to any and everybody. If y'all want the real scoop on women's sports, you don't get it anywhere else. You get it here. Thank you, Allie.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Love you, all of you.
I got trigger happy and hit the button too early. Dag nabbit. We're out of time. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope you all are too. Thanks to everybody that stopped by today. So long, everybody.
I had that.
Will you quit?
Dude, I had it queued up.
Well, cue it up again and push the button, will you?
We're out of here.
To our friend Blake, once you launch your play-by-play channel, let me know. We got an extra carrier for you. And why are the Bears in such a ditch? Because they mortgaged, dislodged, gambled, and threw up on everything for Caleb Williams.
No way.
Really?
We're out of here. See you tomorrow.
Oh, my God.
I'm getting too old for this.
I am too.